What is up, guys? Grimm's Creed here, and this is obviously, as you can read by the title, to do with Black Ops 2 and the next DLC. Now, there was a few theories thrown around of what the last DLC pack is going to be for Black Ops 2. There were some theories thrown about that it would go, obviously, to Berry. There was a big theory about that, and obviously people got it right, and they provided the right information and so on, facts and so on. And then they believed that after that there was a guy, I can't remember his name, but his channel came about his theory about it going to Paris, and that was because if you went back to World at War map de Rees, there was postcards or pictures of Ascension, and there was also pictures of the Eiffel Tower. Now, obviously, being at this point that we were on Black Ops 2 and that you went back to that far, obviously Ascension tied in with what was on World at War because it obviously came out as the first map pack on Black Ops 1, and now they believe that the Paris is going to be on Black Ops 2. However, I've completed the Easter egg on the Richtofen side of things, and I've stuck with Richtofen. I haven't got the footage, unfortunately, because I was going to use the recording from my theatre mode on Black Ops 2 when we completed it and put the steps up and put, the ending and stuff like that of Richtofen. But for some reason, my theatre mode is being an absolute cock, and it's saying that every time I load the file or load the video in order to do the recording and stuff like that to it, it's saying that it doesn't exist, and I've selected an invalid file, so it's kind of annoying. So I'm going to have to, basically, we're going to have to redo the Easter egg as such and show you guys the steps and put us up actually doing it. But I promise you, we have done it. And there were some quotes. That Richtofen mentions, which I'll read out. Basically, well, if I read Richtofen's one. Basically, when you complete the Easter egg and you've got all four players that stuck to the Richtofen side, and you basically go into a room in the back of the courthouse, I believe it is. There's like a little box in it. It should have 4 rows across, four columns and 3 rows down, and basically they should all be lit blue so that you've all completed it. Once you've done that, if you shoot the box lid flips down and there's a big button there that you push, and basically that then does this, and Richtofen quotes this, basically saying, "Finally, I am in control. The ether is mine to manipulate as I wish, and the world is now my own personal plaything." And basically, after completing the Easter egg on all maps on Richtofen's sides and pressing the button on the buried map, you'll receive the quote where Richtofen states that he has mastered the ether and he can use its energy to control anyone on Earth, even though they are infected by Element 115. Note, though, point out that he can only control the beings on Earth. He doesn't actually state that. It's not stated that he can't control every being within the universe. It just says he can control the beings. So it's kind of you got to listen to what he says or means. So that he could mean many different things, but at the moment, as far as we're concerned, he can control any being. I don't know whether that's whether they're infected by 115 or the zombies or whatever. So anyway, this is Maxis basically saying, "But what about Samantha? Your actions condemn my daughter's very soul to eternal damnation. Even if you do not care for her, surely you wish to return to your own body." Richtofen then replies, "Not really, no, and I already possess the power to leave this netherworld and re-enter the physical realm once more. I can choose any body I wish, and as for you, Maxis, you'll simply cease to be. Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye, toodles." And Maxis obviously then screams no. So that's quite a strong thing, the fact that he can be in and out of the realms, etc., etc. Now, what I wanted to point out was on the Maxis, because I didn't complete Maxis. I kind of stuck with that, and I haven't got round to completing the Maxis. So I decided to basically follow NGT. I followed Spiderbite because he did the Maxis side of things completely, and I watched his video to see what the alternative ending would be if we'd have done Maxis. It's a lot quicker and easier and simpler if somebody else had already done it, and at the moment, some of my friends are off playing other games at the moment, so to get round and actually do the Maxis Easter eggs has been a bit tough. So I've basically followed someone else's, and basically I wanted to point out something. This is my theory to the next map pack, because it's something key that Maxis points out, and it has something to do with that rift, that gigantic fucking hole that goes down to the centre of the Earth. Okay, When you complete on Maxis, his first quote is basically, "The process has begun. Now I can control the ether's energy, and I can at last reach Agartha." Now, if you complete all the Easter eggs, obviously on Maxis side, press the button, blah blah blah, same as you do. Maxis state that he has mastered the ether and he can use this, blah blah blah, and control and can wipe out the Earth and all its inhabitants. Doing that will basically create a portal to Agartha, which is in the Earth's core. Now, I did a little bit more research on Agartha because I'm thinking, well, fucking hell, this is what weird. But basically, if I read through on something that I found on Agartha, this is something I looked up on Google. Basically, Agartha, sometimes referred to as Agartha or Agarthi. Sorry if I'm pronouncing these wrong; they are weird. Or Agartha, but it's basically the same thing, but spelled with a double T instead. Basically, it's a legendary city that's said to reside in the Earth's core. Shambhala, also known as Shambhala, or this is a key thing, also known as Shangri-La, is sometimes said to be its capital city. The mythical paradise of Shambhala is known under many different names. It's been called the Forbidden Land, the Land of the White Waters, the Land of the Radiant Spirits, Land of the Living Fire, Land of the Living Gods, and also the Land of Living Wonders. There are certain other beliefs of Russians, Chinese, Asians, etc. that believe it to also be a land of the demons, where the demons are. Now, knowing Treyarch and the way they like to take something mythical that's been mentioned in real life and put it into their game to make it fit with their story, this would seem and fit quite well. Land of the Demons, maybe it's where zombies are, the spawns zombies are theoretically classed as demon, they're undead flesh, possessed, etc. And they're controlled from a specific core. I'm wondering if Samantha's body, because Maxis turns around and says that if you follow Richtofan's side and he says, no, that's it, you've damned Samantha, she's going to die, blah, blah, blah. I'm wondering if Samantha's soul is there. Maybe this Agartha, maybe Treyarch are going to use this Agartha as the next map, and it's going to be a case of that Maxis was going to do it to destroy everything, to get to Agartha, so that he could finally free his daughter. He could free his daughter's soul from there, and so on and so forth. Also, another thing, if you remember on Die Rise, but I was talking to my friends about this as well, when you're playing as the character Samuel, you can hear these bizarre, weird groanings and noises. Now, at first we thought it's because Sam had been bitten. He had that bandage on his leg. He mentions obviously about the flesh. He also mentions about mending the rift. Now the rift obviously being that massive fucking gigantic hole down the centre towards the earth. Which I believe now why Richtofan wants him to mend the rift. He wants him to mend it in order to stop Maxis from gaining access to it, because obviously there's something there that Maxis wants, which we now learn by completing Maxis' Easter egg in Buried, that it's Samantha's soul. Richtofan wants to try and stop him, and obviously he can now do that if you followed Richtofan's path. I'm babbling. I'm quite excited because I think this is a very strong theory now that this is going to be the next map. Now, obviously, the image as well that you can see on play is an image that I found on Google Images of Agartha. There's various different images up there, but I thought this one looked kind of the best in a sense. So here's my theory. Here's my complete theory. Basically, this is going to be the next DLC. I think Agartha is going to be next. I think this is going to be a big thing. And I think it's going to be a boss fight. And what I think is going to happen, I think taking bits that have happened in Buried, for example, if you completed Richtofan's Easter egg, you go into the Infinity Round, where you have to search dead bodies. Now, I noticed going through again and again, I went through my theatre modes that actually worked when we were doing attempts of this to complete the Easter egg. I noticed when I went through, there was about 10 or 11, maybe 12, I think even, different locations of where the dead bodies could spawn. Some were in the courthouse, barn, etc., etc. When you went round, I never once did I see Stuhlinger's body. Not once. It was always Misty's, Malton's, and Russman. My theory is that those three are going to die. At Agartha, they're going to be dead. Now, Sam Stuhlinger is possessed as such. There's something wrong with him. He can hear things, he can do things or whatever. I feel that he's going to be a boss. I think he's going to be not necessarily a boss, you know, like, oh my god, defeat him, health bar at the top, that kind of shit. I'm just generally talking, you know, we've had things like George Romero and everything being a boss. We've had I'm trying to think of other maps now because my brain is frying with information that I've divulged on this new map. But cutting to the chase, yeah, I think Sam's going to be there. Sam's going to be the boss as such. Stuhlinger, Russman, and Stuhlinger, Russman, Misty, and Molten are going to die, or die when they get there, or be dead, or whatever happens to them. I think they're just not going to exist anymore. And I think Stuhlinger is going to be a boss, and I think we're going to be using the old 4 characters, Sam in Richtoven's body, Samantha in Richtoven's body, sorry, Tank, Nikolai, and Takio, I think are going to come back. So we're going to be those 4 characters against Stuhlinger. And what I think we're going to have to play that out as the Easter egg, you know, and maybe Stuhlinger can be flipping between, depending, again, it depends on what you've done. If you've gone for Maxis, Stuhlinger could possibly flick between good and evil, kind of like Huckleberry on Buried, except obviously depending on Maxis, whether he helps or goes against us or whatever. If you're Richtofen, you know, then maybe it's, I don't know, there's just so many theories, but I mean, let me know what you think, guys. I can't, there's so much information to put through, and I don't want to make this video too lengthy and go on too much, but I have a fucking serious strong point and a strong theory that Agartha is our next map. I think this is where we're going. I think this is going to be the final. We're going to be at the core of the Earth. And maybe we can change something here. Maybe Agartha being the centre of the Earth, and there's a lot of information. Read up on it. Read up on Agartha. Seriously, look it up, because there's just so much about it. So many theories and mystical myths about this place that before fucking zombies even started. This has been going on for centuries about this place. You know, so there's so much that can happen there. So yeah, there we go, guys. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to stop babbling. But yeah, here we go. That's my theory. Agartha, DLC 4. That's what I reckon is going to happen. I reckon we're going to get reunited with our old characters, and I think that's what's going to go down. I think Sam's going to be a boss. I think he's going to be, you know, a bit of a nuisance for us with Richtofen or Maxis, and that's what we've got to do. I'm Grimms Creek, guys, and I'm out.